Hello, Zulu is back with another chapter. I will continue reading this story. And thank you for everyone who's been listening. It has been extremely fun to see that my subscribers have been rising steadily. I got comments on my videos about where's the next chapter and so on. So thank you for that. So without further ado, let's get down to it. Monster by Blackwing. Standing out. Once Lyra left his head to pass his message from the princess. Celestia couldn't talk to him because, although she was more powerful, Lyra has more natural talent of telepathy and can speak to him over range, even across dimensions, while the princess cannot. Nightshade found himself alone in his mind once again, and had a pleasant dream of the night spent with Skulu, and the fun they had been able to now that he wasn't a secret anymore. He particularly looking forward to the running of the leaves in the 3 days. First things first. He had a presentation to make and a couple of bullies to shut up. Donning his black coat he had normally worn in the forest, he brought Skulu to school, and along with several props, avoiding being seen by her classmates. If he wanted to make an impression, he had to surprise them. Taking care of being seen, Nightshade climbed through one of the school windows and pushed himself into the rafters above the classroom. It was an old-style school, only one room and no artificial lighting. It was illuminated entirely by sunlight coming in from the various windows. Perfect. With his black coat, he could be nearly invisible up there. The school's bells rang, and Shirley brought the students to begin the day. Class, today we have a very special visitor. All we know As we know all, school has been adopted some time ago, and today we finally get to meet her adoptive parent. Shirley was also exciting seeing him up close. She had only gotten a glimpse at the town meeting, but as her teaching nature required, she was intrigued by the strange being. Without further delay, let's get started. Mr. Nightshade? She looked around. He was nowhere to be seen. The class searched and couldn't see him. Then there was Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon began teasing. See, I knew he wasn't real. Adopted by an alien, living in the Everfree forest. You could have uh, thought of a better lie than that. All right, now that's when he knew who the bullies were. He carefully positioned himself and hanging on top of the support beam, upside down by his feet, dropped down. When Diamond Tiara turned back to the front of the class, she was face to face with a black cloak. Who's not real? I could have sworn you meant me, Nightshade said with a smile. Let's just say before she freaked out. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cause a scare, he said, taking off his coat and putting it on the coat rack. Just wanted to make an entrance. Shirley, although it was pretty funny. While she loved all her students, she agreed that those two needed to be taught a lesson. Without his black coat, he was much less frightening. Even if he towering over the teacher, she just smiled. Well, now that's our out of the way. Let's get started, shall we? My name's Nightshade. I came to Equestria about 2 years ago. and I lived in the forest. So I adopted Skulu about a year ago, and finally made my reveal to Ponyville last week. He's interrupted by Pip, who he had met at the Meet the Monster party. Is it true that you fought the princesses? Crap. He didn't want to have to talk about that. Unfortunately, it is true. We had made a difference of opinion. When we get people or ponies as powerful as ourselves, arguments tend to get a little heated, he explained sullenly. He really didn't want to talk about it. So wait, you are as strong as the princesses? And, and another pony piped up. Not even close. I can hold my own, but I'm no match for them. Now, shall I get into my demonstration? Desperately trying to change the subject. What could you possibly to show us? You don't have a magic, you're just a forest monster, Silver Spoon. Damn bullies. Annoying. Nightshade have a skull. Shelly picked up. Now, that's no way to talk to our guest. Actually, I think I just show them. Luna explained at the town meeting that I have a unique ability and think I maybe could show the class what they better getting of an understanding. Is it safe? School Shirley looked worried. Of course. I've been doing this for years, and it's not like I'm going to be using the students. He shot Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon a wicked glare. They gulped nervously, pulling out 4 plants out from behind the desk. He had placed them there when he arrived. He set them on top. Do you know what these are? He asked. Apple Bloom piped up. They are apple trees. Of course you know. That's right. And what do you notice about them? He asked. Diamond Tiara, being know-it-all, answered. Well, the one to the far right is dead before their eyes. They watched as the plant with the wilted and black sprang back to life, turning vibrant green. They all watched wide eyes as they witnessed it come to life. One another witted. Correction. It wasn't dead. It was close, however. My power is that I can transfer life energy from one thing to another and allow me to heal the sick plant at the cost of this one. He motioned to the now withering plant. It came to life as well, as all 3 others wilted slightly. And this time I spread it across all 3 of the healthy plants. So now all can recover. You can see how this might be useful in healing, as damage which one would get too great. It can be spread across the others, meaning it all 4 of the apple saplings will now grow and be healthy. At several points, Skula has been injured, and I healed her injuries by taking them onto myself, and then passing them into some trees in the forest. It was so much easier to explain using the plant for the example. So, is it kind of a healing magic? Asked one of the ponies. Actually, it's not. Magic doesn't allow the rules of conversion. You can just conjure something out of nowhere. With this, there's a trade. I can't heal something without causing injury to something else. If I don't have a source of energy, there's nothing I can do. While I can use my own to heal something else, That means I have to take all the injuries myself. If they are bad enough, I end up in the same situation, or however, I'm healing. Sounds like they finally started to understand. So, is it just healing that you can do? No. I can manipulate all life force of energy. Exhaustion is something else I can pass off. For this, I need a volunteer. Any takers? No pony rose their hooves except for the Crusaders and Pip. Alright, Pip, since Goodlow, Applebloom, and Sweetbell all know me, it won't make good for much of a demonstration, so I pick you. He went up to the front of the class. The others looked at him as she was crazy. Now, Pip, trust me, there's no reason to worry. Just a little demonstration. Please tell the class a little about yourself, he motioned to her. Well, my name is Pip, and I moved here a little over a year ago from Tottenham, and He passed out and fell over. Well, what I just did, I was giving him my tiredness to him. And since he's smaller than me, he has less capacity for energy than I do. And it was enough to put him to sleep. Alright, how about I giving a waking call? With that, Pip wake up. What happened? He asked. I just put you to sleep by taking away all your energy, Nightshade responded. The entire class was amused by the stunt. There was another pony asked a very serious question. You said you could transfer all kinds of life energy. Does that you can bring back the dead? The question stunned him. He had never tried. It broke all kind of rules and morals. He just wasn't willing to go there. Well, I never tried, but one thing you should know is that life itself is a little different. Every living thing has kind of a spark. Think it like a flame of a candle, except that you can't lit another candle by just putting it near. It takes the flame. So if I were try to bring back the dead, it would cost another life to equal value. Myself and you ponies have a great deal of life, so I don't think it'd be possible for me to move that much, even if I had willing volunteers. It goes against everything I believe in. He paused for a moment then to let it sink in. On the other hand, hoof, something like a plant or maybe an insect that has a very small amount of life. It should be possible. For the sake of learning, I'm willing to try. This was unfamiliar territory, and it didn't much like playing God. After all, if something died, it was not meant to come back. One of the students brought forth a dead butterfly, and it looks with pleading eyes. Well, alright, but stand back. I haven't done this before, so I have no idea what will happen. He placed his hand on the butterfly and one on the plants. They both glowed green for a moment. The plant withered and died and began to rot. The butterfly's wings repaired themselves and slowly it began to flap them. It flew up and out of the window and into the sky. The class cheered. Now, remember, it would not be possible for me to do this with anything bigger, like a pet cat or something, and certainly not ponies. Beside that, it would be wrong. It's not for me to give or take life from one and to give to another. Nightshade looked at the dead apple sapling with regret. Given that I'm dealing with some apple saplings and butterflies, I think I can, for the sake of demonstration. Any other questions? School asked a question this time. You said a flame of life. What if were to have two? For example, taking the life of one sapling, giving it to what was still alive, would it have two? He was almost hurt by the question. It seemed to go against everything he knew. But she was curious, and he couldn't blame her. Well, I'm not sure. And since I'm here to demonstrate, I will try. But everything stand over there, please, near the back of the class. I have no idea what's going to happen. Shirley looked a little worried, but so far everything had gone well, so she decided to trust him. He focused, placing one hand on each plant. One withered and died. Just like the butterfly, the other began to glow with a bright green. It began to flash brightly. Everyone covered their eyes, and the plant exploded, knocking all of the other plants' pots off the desk, causing the one it was to shatter. Well, I think that's it for today's demonstrations. What happened was completely unexpected. Having a second life force caused the plant to react violently. It's a good thing that it was just a plant, and luckily the thing that he couldn't do with it anything sentient. It would be too much temptation to give that kind of power. Besides, okay. If a plant that kind of blast radius, what kind of destruction would be caused in a case of a pony? Better to never find out. Any other question? So, what's your cutie mark? Diamond Tiara asked. She sure had her priorities. Well, since I'm not a pony, I don't have one. Here it comes. You're blank blank? That's so lame. Typical. Let's just say I have many talents, so there's no cutie mark that could cover them all. Yeah, fuck you too. Well, there's no other question. That concludes my demonstration. It was a pleasure being here, and I hope it was informative. I should get out of your main and let the lesson today begin. He turned to Shirley. Thank you for having me here today. Don't mention it. It certainly was interesting, she responded. All right, class, you're excused for lunch. Mr. Nightshade, may I speak with you for a moment? Of course. What do you need? Even though he wasn't a student, teachers always scared him a bit. He didn't care if they were mad, but having them disappointed was the worst feeling ever. While I'm glad to finally being able to meet you, I noticed your presentation were a little upset, she said. Being around kids all the time, she know how to tell feelings from others. Well, I guess I was. One thing I always hated about my world was bullying. Seeing it happened here too, it just, I could see myself. I was an orphan too, and as you already know, I was different. It made me stood out, and not in a good way. Seeing it all happen all over, it just made me really mad, you know? He explained. She nodded in understanding. Well, you did a very good job not showing it, and put it on a wonderful performance today. It was quite the show, and I don't think Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon will be bothering Scootaloo anymore. You're a wonderful dad to her. Shell was interrupted by the sound of someone clearing their throat. They both turned to see Celestia standing in the doorway and bowed. Nightshade did bid Shirley farewell and walked with the princesses. So, what was so important that you couldn't come to Canterlot, and I have to come all this way here? Said the Sun Princess with a stern tone. Family appreciation day. Scoots have been looking forward to it for a very long time, and I couldn't just blow it off, he answered. Oh, I know. Lyra told me about it, she laughed slightly. You were trying to troll me, weren't you? he said, returning his own. Ah, yes. The social engineering prank from your world. Indeed it was. Too bad. I'm a master of it. You have to learn, young grasshopper. She was slightly upset that he referred to her in the same way a teacher refers to a student, but this time she was used to it. He was someone who wouldn't suck up for her. She could speak with him on equal terms, which in a way was here. I need to speak with you regarding a certain entity, she said calmly. That's what I need to talk about. As a sensitive issue, perhaps we should do it somewhere more private, like in my mind, he suggested. That's a good idea, she said, now in thought. An old enemy of ours, an evil creature from the time of my present, King Cronus and Queen Aurora, have resurfaced. It is powerful, and my parents were only able to banish it. He called himself Nightmare. Over 1,000 years ago, he possessed my sister Luna to force her into Nightmare Moon. I wielded the element of harmony, but it was unable to separate them, and she was forced to banish her with her to the moon. 3 years ago, she returned, and Twilight and her 5 friends wielded the elements, and were finally being able to return her to original form. Nightmare did not die. However, it was weakened. I had been hiding. We had been tracking it to try to destroy it before it regained its power. I understand that all Equestria will be in danger. Nightmare is allowed to roam free. But what does this have to do with me, specifically? Nightshade asked. We believe it may have been targeting you. Nightmares seek to possess those with power, like Luna or myself. It used our desires against us. It twists us into something that we are not. In the cases of my sister, she wanted to be loved. I told it to her if she allowed it. It would make a Christian love her. When it took over, it sought to make this happen by bringing eternal light, Celeste explained. It was being watched. It has been watching you. It's and at seeing you able to do such, use your strength and wits to stand against both of us on equal terms. It made you into its priority. Thinking back, Nightshade remembered the dark cloud in his mind, and the entity that blended misery and wrath. There had to be it. I believe you may be right, Shelley. He used a nickname. While she may hate formalities, he was just pushing it. And she put on a scowl. Last night I found some sort of dark cloud in my mind. I was going through my past and it brought up bad things that happened to me and things I did. It looked pleased. At the sight, it was the creepiest thing I ever happened to be. It being more that than having you, your sister Lyra, in my noggin at the same time. He shuddered. Think about the entity known as a nightmare. But I think I know how to keep it away. When it was in my mind, I started thinking about happy things. Skudlu, this world, all my friends. At that, it just looks disgusted and then it left. This is good. Now we know where Nightmare is targeting you, and you know how to keep it away. He will try to make you an offer. Whatever you do, do not listen to it. If you accept, it will possess you, and all of Khrushchev will be in peril. She was serious. What's more, it's normally only attack those with high life force. Luna survived the separation because she is immortal. But even she was left in several weakened state. If it were to possess one such as yourself, we would have to use the elements to drive it out, and the separation would kill you. That struck a nerve. It would kill him? It was definitely not worth having it. Whatever it was offered, after you assuring Celestia that he would not give in, and learning that the only way to destroy it would be to use the elements on it, while it did not have to have a body. But elements would need to rest for a period after being used, so they could not be used twice in a row to dry out and destroy it. He went on his way. So, even the elements had their limits. It made sense. The ultimate purge magic, capable of returning possessed god to normal, had to have a trade-off of all things. It did. Rest of the day went by. Time spent building his house, which was turning out magnificently. Rainbow Dash flew often over for a couple of minutes. Hey, what's she doing? She said in her usual laid-back manner. She was feeling a lot better after she hung out with Skudlu for the day and showed her clouds day. Oh, nothing, just building a house. I'm kinda crashing at Fluttershy's house right now. While she doesn't mind, I'm eager to get out of her main, Nightshade explained. She likes ya, you know? He didn't take Dash for gossip. He figured that it'd be more of Rarity's thing. Yeah, I know. But we both decided that it would be best if we just stayed friends. I only got out of in the open, and I just want to make things go slowly. It was true. He wasn't ready for a relationship. Things were just the way it were. Speak of slow, you entering the running of the leaves? Rainbow Dash could absolutely infuriating at times. But then again, this was a good opportunity. Yes, I am. That gives me an idea. Let's make a bet. At hearing the idea of a bet, Rainbow's ears perked up. She loving winning, and since she was sure she would, she loved bets. I'm listening, she said. Okay, if I place ahead of you in the running of the leaves, you have to help me build my house instead of taking naps. I could use someone who could fly to hit levy support beams, and neither Fluttershy nor Scoots can do it. That would be good. I really need help. And if I place ahead of you, you have to take Fluttershy on a date. Wow, really? Rainbow Dash playing matchmaker? Oh dear. Are you trying to make me throw a race? Rain slow dash? I thought you were talking about if I lost. Rainbow was fuming at the name. He didn't call her Rainbow Crash. He had made up a whole new insult, and she wasn't just going to take that lying down. Okay, fine. When I win, you have to buy me a whole barrel of cider while cider season starts. You have to camp out for a week in this front of Sweet Apple Acres to get it. She was serious now. Deal. Nightshade agreed. They both spat in the hand and hoof and shook it. I can't wait for all that cider, said Dash, as she flew off into the sky, continuing her nap. She suddenly turned back and got right in his face. None of those freaky powers of yours. Understand? She was dead serious. As long as you don't use wings. He reminded a story Applejack told him about the running of the loose leaves a few years back. That reminded me of something else. Sweet Apple Acres. Well, he had already made a bet with Dash. Why not AJ as well? She was running too. He ran off to the farm. Hey, Applejack, can I talk for you a minute? He called out. Sure, come over, Showcube, she yelled back. Promise not to buck me? He returned a wide grin. Just get your hide over here. She was obviously not happy with that brought up again. He hopped over the fence and walked over to her farm pony, grinning. What you need? She asked, taking a break from bucking. It's almost at the end of the season, and she needed to get the last of the apples out of the trees before returning of the leaves. Because of that, the Pegasi would let the snow fall immediately. Well, I just finished talking with Dash, and we made a little bet on the outcome. If I beat her, she would have to help build my house. If she beats me, I got to buy her a whole barrel of cider before Pinky gets it. He laughed. Well, looks like you got your work cut out for you. But what would that go with me? She asked. Nightshade got straight to the point. I wonder if you wanted on a bet yourself. Well, alright. What the hey? If I win, come spring, I got to help me with the apple trees here. They sometimes get sick over the winter. I want them to tip-top shape for the next season. Applejack motioned to the massive orchard of trees. If he had to help with all those trees, he'd be way he'd be behind getting his own maple business up and running. But something he'd just have to be risked. Fine. If I win, you had to have me over for dinner to meet your family. Apple Blue have been dying to introduce me. And if I lose to Dash, you set aside a barrel for me, so I don't have to camp outside for a week. And I already got a deal with Dash. She won't fly, and I won't use my powers. She knew that would be the next thing on her mind. Good. I wouldn't want no cheating. Besides, I'm gonna be beating the both of you. They went through the same spit in the hoof and shake ritual than he had done with the rainbow, and he headed back to Floodshy. Tomorrow, he had to deliver a dress to Manhattan for Rarity, but he had Saturday off, and he knew that she'd been wanting to spend more time with him. Scootaloo came home from school, saying it was the best day ever. How even though Diamond and Silver were still the same, all the others that he was awesome. And they saw him walking with princesses and all dozens of other things. After that, they sat quietly and had some tea, while Angel munching on a carrot. He still wasn't impressed that Nightshade and Scoots were staying over. He has been slowly getting used to it. and it besides it would be for a couple more days while the house got finished. So, plus I got to deliver a dress for Raitu tomorrow, which will take me just about all day to get to Manhattan and back. But I'm off on Saturday. You want to hang out? Just as friends, I mean, he said. Angel just rolled his eyes. It was a painful obvious to him that this what was going on. But other than charades, he couldn't voice his disapproval, so he didn't bother. He went just on the custom-made rabbit house and slammed the door before Navi Mashi could begin. Nightshade didn't know. Nightshade had heard what he and Rainbow Dash had said. If having a date with her was to punish for losing, then he tried to throw the race. If it was meant that he would get help building his house. Blushing at the thought, he really did like her after all. It was taking things slow for their mutual benefit. Well, it would be okay. I mean, if you want to. She began to blush again. They both quickly turned their heads to avoid looking in each eyes. They didn't want to repeat at the last time. Having dinner, they all went off to bed. Nightshade sleeping on the couch again. Once again in his sleep, they found not Lyra, but Nightmare. It circled around him, with a snake-like wrapping its prey. In the same icy voice. What is your desire, mortal? I have seen your memories, but only desire I find is to survive. Where is your abomination? Where is your drive? It was generally confused. Everyone had something they wanted to achieve, some hidden need that they couldn't accomplish on their own, either because they were too weak, afraid to try, or didn't know how. Not afraid at all, Nightshade replied with a laugh. I know what you are, Nightmare. I know how you work. You won't temper me with power. I do have desires. I want to win the race in 3 days. I want Scootaloo to be happy. I want Floodshite to be my friend. But these things can I all do on my own. Scootaloo is happy so long as I am here. I'm hanging out with Floodshite Saturday, and the race I want to win. But it won't be meaningless if I do it on my own, even if I lose. All that change is I help my new friends instead of helping me. I don't need you. Nightward was mad. It knew it had been caught. Humans are by natural corruptible, but this one remained firm and resolute. With a huff and a growl, it left his mind, and Lyra did not take its place. He had pleasant dreams of being surrounded by good friends in a new house, having pancakes with maple syrup. Okay, that was the end of that chapter. And sorry for the sounds by my phone. It wasn't meant to be on sound, but I will continuing this chapter maybe later, maybe not, but I will do my best to continue reading on my free time when I got the time for it. So thank you and see you next time. Zulu out.